Now that we have leads, let's talk about pushback. As you fill your sales pipeline, you're bound to get more no's than yeses, especially as your prospects are navigating this new normal. Our sales connections expert, Shari Pash, joins us to talk about how to anticipate and manage these new objections. So welcome back to the show, Shari.
Thanks, Julie. It's great to be here today and covering another great topic.
I agree because rejection is not fun. We all get objections to buying our product or services. And what we may not be used to, though, Shari, is the level of uncertainty right now.
Mm-hmm. And I think, Julie, one of the things that's most important when we're talking about objections or those no's is being prepared. It's one of the best strategies that we can have when it comes to our client, our customer, even if you're a membership organization. Again, remember those objections or hindrances. What are they as they look at buying or renewing? And our confidence grows when we're prepared. That's for everything in life, but especially when you're dealing with sales, your confidence is so important, and being prepared is what gives you that.
So how do we start to prepare, especially when it comes to managing the no's?
Yeah. First, I would recommend that you and your team, that you think through all of your products, all of your services that you offer, and then come up with maybe 2 objections that you hear, more if needed, and really think about what is each objection we hear, so we can now create a strategy to overcome. As an example, you might hear, say, I might be a printing company and I am selling to a client and they say, well, we use XYZ company for most of our printing needs right now. And you can always come through easily with I can appreciate that loyalty. It's really commendable. I want to be your first call though, when they aren't able to meet a need, and ask if that client can commit to that even. So even if you can't overcome an objection, you can reply to that objection with a solution still. Because if somebody's very loyal to another service provider, it's hard to get them away, but they will at some point need another source. So it's really important, I think, that you first think through what are the objections you hear and how for every product line, every service that you provide, and then you can sit down with your team and start to work on this.
It sounds like these relationships are really the key, because you want to start to build that rapport with someone new, so that maybe if it's a no right now, when there's a little bit of space to kind of squeeze in there and you can help them, that'll be an opportunity for you. So how do you start to build that relationship?
The relationship piece is really important, because even if somebody is saying no to you, it's understanding that no. And those discovery questions allow you to see where those no's are at. So you're asking questions that uncover some of this so you can deal with those objections. So I think what's really important is that we write out a strategy for each of those objections or obstacles you have, but basing that on not transactions, but on the relationship you talked about, Julie, because it's important that, one, you have that relationship started through your normal sales process, right? And then you nurture that. If you can tell this as a customer or client, that's going to be important to your company and important to your growth as you go forward. But it's really important that we get these in writing, how we are going to manage these objections, because that's how you stay consistent in your messaging, and for all of your team to reply to objections and hindrances in much of the same way. Does that make sense, really?
It does. So Shari, when you talk about a strategy, how in depth does this strategy need to be? Because so often I see clients that will spend a lot of time on strategy, but do we need to spend a lot of time there? What are we talking about here?
I always say it doesn't need to be elaborate at all. We want to keep it conversational. We want to make sure we're solving a problem, or we're kind of minimizing or overcoming those misunderstandings. So we're talking solution-based. So like that printer example I gave you, short and sweet. Now it depends on your product, in your price point. Are you talking about a $10,000 product or a couple $1,000 investment? What does that look like? That's going to be a little bit. But I would say for anybody, staying concise and easy to understand. And it does not need to be elaborate. It just needs to be, I understand there's a challenge. Here's my solution. If that didn't work, then I have practiced what I will reply with. Practicing is so important with your team, getting together with your team and writing these kind of managing objection responses so that all of you feel comfortable. You're all weighing in and writing out, how do we overcome this, and put it in writing so that you can stay consistent. And when you have new people join in, right now there's a lot of people hiring new salespeople. They know immediately, how do I deal with these objections that we get as a company for products that we sell.
Yeah, with a lot of people hiring, that means a lot of new people joining the team. What is the best approach to being able to coach and train everyone through this process?
I think we talk about those, anticipating those objections. At the same time, I would recommend that you with your team also anticipate questions that your customers will have based on all your different products or services you offer, and make sure that you are, again, helping your new people prepare and be able to overcome. Write out, what are the questions that we often hear about this product or service, and then be sure that we write out what's our answer to that. There could be A, B, and C, a couple answers to that based on the type of customer, based on the product, and make sure you've done the same for the objections. That's the training. You practice this together. You role play, that old-fashioned role play that people hate. It's so beneficial, though, to practice saying it out loud. It's different when you say it out loud versus what's in your head, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Practice in front of the mirror, say it out loud. Yeah. Absolutely. Shari, this has been so helpful, and certainly no objections today to your leopard print. I see we managed to coordinate. So Shari, thank you so much for this information.
Thanks,
to see more from Shari, head to WLAJ.com and click the link for Sales Connections.